Bill Maher and his real-time panel tore into Democrats for their leftist indoctrination going on right now in schools across America. Maher even accused the Biden administration of being, quote, all in on pushing trans ideology on our youngest children. Watch.
More and more you look at his curriculum, it's all about that stuff.
Well,
it's all about identity. It's all about being queer or trans. I mean, children can't understand that stuff, not in kindergarten.
Most of these people who are making the argument we're making are liberal people who think it's a great thing that in America now anybody can actually be whatever they want. And of course, trans is a real thing, rare, but real, but rare. That part seems to be, we all seem to have to pretend that we're born, I don't know, jump ball.
I don't know.
And there are parents, and I've seen it in South Carolina even, where they're bragging about their children at 4, 5, or 6 transitioning. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They haven't let the natural process happen.
And I think the Biden administration is all in on that.
So, Cheryl, we're talking about children in kindergarten, children who are really, really young. Certainly, the bunny that you hand them does not have a gender. They have not been sexualized yet. That's what, we were going for in that conversation. And you say what to Bill Maher?
Well, I think that the point is that this is the Biden administration that wants to push these things any way that they can do it. And look at what they're doing with the TSA. $18.5 million has just been given to the TSA for gender-neutral screening at checkpoints. So we have to be gender-sensitive now at a TSA checkpoint in an airport.
What does that mean?
That's coming from this administration.
What does that mean to you, gender-neutral searches?
You know what? I read through exactly what this technology to be determined is going to actually. It just says it's supposed to be more sensitive to the if there's a pat down process. More sensitive because that person with the gun or the terrorist that's trying to get on the plane. We should definitely make sure we don't offend them when they've got their gun in their carry-on bag.
I mean, that's ludicrous. That's ludicrous.
But,
Good on Bill Maher.
You already have a situation, Emily, where if you're a woman and they're going to randomly search you, they go get another woman. So I'm really curious to know, if you're transgender, do they go get another transgender? I mean, are we going to be fair about this or just overboard where people are still going to be insulted?
Yes, the latter, and I think the bottom line is what you can count on is your tax dollars being wasted. What you can count on is this administration capitulating to a very small, minute part of the population that somehow has become the most vocal, controlling, impactful segment of our American country. Good on Bill Maher for having Representative Mace on there. Good on him for saying common sense that somehow has to be covered as some type of breaking news simply because he's calling a spade a spade. Yeah, it's real and rare. What's wrong with the White House confirming that? They'll never do it.
Mark, how surprised are you that the White House is weighing into issues like this, but we can't even get transparency on the president having 15-year-old classified documents that he shouldn't have taken as a senator?
Well, I mean, that's kind of the direction President Biden has been pulled. He's been pulled further and further left throughout his presidency, and now he's got to subscribe to these woke ideas. To talk real quickly about how this is really playing out in the schools, my gut feeling is that these woke agendas are going to persist in schools because there are no consequences. There's no consequences when you push this down kids' throats, down the parents' throats. If you were to compare private schools to public schools, and private schools have their own sets of problems, but things act a little differently. If something like this were shoved down kids' throats, the parents could step up. They could say, we don't approve of this. And then the school realizes there are consequences.
Well, it's called money.
I might lose these tuition dollars. So that speaks to what's going on this week. This is, I guess, school choice week. Maybe we need to have those discussions about school choice within the public school system.
There are consequences in public schools. Did you see what happened in Virginia? Glenn Youngkin, Winsome Sears, Jason Mieres. So to tell parents whose kids are in public schools coast to coast that there are no consequences, they might have something. I have a lot of friends who might disagree with you there, Mark. And the bigger issue in terms of transgender and issues that Bill Maher is talking about, it's that schools, many, are saying that the teachers don't have to tell the parents when the children are expressing gender confusion. And to say that, oh, don't tell the parents, that is unimaginable. And even beyond that, a place like New York City, where corporations have to, by law, conduct a sexual harassment training for their employees. New York City has a video that corporations play that says that sex is assigned at birth by the doctor. And you're not allowed to speak up and say, science? So this is happening at the school level. So you want your children to be educated in science, but they're literally not allowed to say, I don't believe that I believe in biology and genetics, because adults in New York City aren't allowed to say that.
Wow. Okay, we'll move on. Ooh, that's a lot. We could talk like a whole hour about this.
Yep.
Seriously.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.